Hey everyone, welcome to Love Your Body podcast. Today is our 100th episode, and I am so excited. Yes, I'm so pumped. I was just talking to Trent about this that I could not believe that it's been 100 episodes. It feels like, this just started. And it's been cool. I've had a lot of special guests on. I've had a lot of people, that I've been friends it was the first time meeting them that I met through Instagram. I've kind of been able to use this platform as honestly for me like my social time. You know what I mean? And it's been really special. I wanted to ask you and see, Trent, what kind of has been like one of your favorite memories, or what? I don't know. Has there been an
Yeah.
episode that stuck out to you, or
Oh man, a lot of them do. We've had some good times.
yeah, yeah?
We've
I
done a
mean,
lot of different things.
right?
Man, trying to think. Like, obviously, I go to some of the fam. Tyler.
Yes, ambition threads.
All
Yeah,
the Ambition fam folks. Honestly, some of those early episodes with you and Blake were
yes,
legendary for
for
sure.
sure, for sure.
Man, a lot. I mean, all the pop-ups, doing the remote stuff.
Yes, I've
I mean,
loved that.
yeah, it's been really cool just getting people when they're like right after a move fit or whatever it might be.
And that's what's felt so special. So, and that's something that I love is that immediacy, like, because I think some people just think so much of in a box of like, okay, you have to be like in a studio, and I'm glad to be here, and I love this, and this is like such a vibe, right?
Yeah.
But even from the early trenches of like Find Your Fit festivals and like being out there and talking to people,
Yeah, outside some of those.
yeah, I mean they're wild,
Yeah,
and so
that was wild.
but it's cool to reflect back on, and I think that that's a good segue into looking at just any with the Dani Fitness in general of continually doing different things, continually switching it up, continually being around different types of people, different businesses, different just kind of celebrating everybody who is continually moving forward,
Yeah.
leveling up. So it's been really special. So just wanted to say a huge shout out to, them, to you, to
Yeah.
anybody that's been a part of making this happen. It's been really cool because, like I said, I am very much one who wants to be with people that are doers, right? And I think for a long time in my business, like it was a lot of no's, right? Like, and I think a lot of entrepreneurs deal with that of continually feeling like you're getting like shut down because of your ideas or I remember with the first Find Your Fit festival, me talking to these people in Franklin, and they were like, "Oh, well, we've never heard of something like that."
Right.
And
That's
me,
so frustrating.
you know what I mean? And me being like,
Oh,
yeah, I
yeah.
know, I'm trying to create it.
Yeah,
And
it's
then
new.
and then being like, oh no, we can't do that. And so it's again not having that open mindedness to that. So again, I just want to say thank you for that. So it really means a lot. And
Can I thank you for something real quick?
yeah, sure.
You are by far the most consistent person like I've worked with to date. And like you're so on top of things, and literally like every week you're like, all right, we're good, right? We're good. Everything's good, right?
Yeah.
You got everything you need, right? And I'm like, yeah. I mean, we're good. And like just how consistent you were with recording and just scheduling stuff, and like, I'm gonna be here then. I'm gonna be here then.
Yeah, yeah.
So I think we've missed like a handful of Wednesdays
Yeah.
ever,
Yeah, like a
it's-
couple. Yes,
it's
exactly.
holidays,
Mhm.
and a lot of people will, just not do the scheduling enough,
Right.
or just have the consistency that you've had. And it's been fun. It's been awesome to be a part of, and just it's honestly like inspirational because like I've done it with a lot of other folks, and they don't have that consistency. They don't have that discipline, and just doing the things that are necessary to build an audience and get your message out on a consistent basis. So shouts to you for real.
Well,
And
thank you.
100 episodes. I mean, that's amazing.
Yeah, well, thanks.
Yeah.
That means a lot. I
Yeah.
really appreciate it. And that's like, and that means a lot. And for me, I think that, it kind of just goes through with the whole regimen of things, right? So when you have a healthy lifestyle journey, you're able to see things more clearly. You're able to, be able to commit to things on a regular basis. Like I love that. Like one of the things that it's so funny. Like, I love scheduling things. And so for me, like, that's why I check in with people. That's why I'm
Yeah.
like always like whatever, because again, I love a schedule. And to be able to come here, or you come up to me, or, wherever we've done them live podcasts,
Yep.
things like this, like, it has made it to where, you know, it's one of my favorite outlets, and that's why I told someone earlier that I started like wanting to do podcasts, like wanting to have the Love Your Body podcast for people to come to listen to, but like be on this journey with me and to ride with that. So that's super cool. So I'm very excited, and with that, I do want to say that I am so grateful for the people in the community who share, who subscribe, who like, who comment, who look forward to doing their cardio, because they're creating a regimen of their own. So
Yeah.
they expect this podcast, like they expect, this community for their walk, or for their to help them get their movement in. So if anyone is listening, and you're on the stairmaster, or you're sweating, or you're getting ready for your prep, or you're just starting out your healthy lifestyle journey, like whatever it is, there is that true like fulfillment and consistency. And I feel like that's been such a part of me from a young age. Like, it's so funny when you say that, Trent, because I literally, someone said something to me like, "Oh, well, do you remember when you were little and like what you were doing?" I was like, "Yeah," because I literally wrote out a schedule. I literally,
How old were you writing out a schedule?
dude, I can vividly remember, like, I mean, I would say like kindergarten.
Oh my gosh.
Like little, like young, like I was. But I mean, that's what's so funny is just that, like,
That's
like,
wild.
because seriously, because I would, it would be like, it would say on the top of the page, it'd be like summer, and I'd be like, okay, from 8 to 9,
No, you
9 to
didn't.
10, yeah, I did, and so that,
Kindergarten?
yeah, so I mean, and again. My mom's probably gonna listen to this and be like, no, she was like 10 or so. I don't know, but whatever.
Still.
I was young, and I just remember vividly like that, because I don't know what that is about. And I don't know if it's because I saw my mom working when I was young, like when she would travel and stuff. But when she was working, she would always be in the office, and for most of the day working. But then like dad would go off to work, so maybe I saw that. I don't know, but I also think it was because I went to a Christian school, and at that Christian school, I was like the only one in my grade. And so I basically had, like, there was a schedule, obviously a curriculum you followed. But I mean, I'd fast forward through some stuff. I would skip over some stuff. I would, like all these different things, because like I created my own schedule, and I was like, okay, the goal is to get to recess.
Yes.
So how do I get to recess faster, but like still doing everything I need to get done?
That's
right.
amazing.
And so that kind of taught me those skills to be able to, kind of work in a way that worked for me at a young age. And so I really love that about that school. A lot of people give me like some slack about going there and stuff, because it was kind of like homeschooling. But I learned a lot, and it did teach me to be more self-sufficient. So I definitely, now on the other side of that coin, it's hard for me to like take time off and not be on a schedule or routine, or feel like I'm like missing out, or could I be doing something else, right? Yeah. So I really am trying to find balance with that. And I listen to every podcast that we've done, and I go back and I review, and I learn from it, and I look at them, and the ones that I've gone on and been asked to be on, which has been super cool. I look at it, and it seems like I am finding that more balance in things, which has been great. And so with that, something I did want to talk about, because now I am 1 year sober, and that's, thank you, and that's been really cool. It has not, I was not an alcoholic by any means. I just was going through, loss and trauma and stuff like that, and injury. And so it was a nice, coping. And I think a lot of listeners can understand that. And especially people who are on their healthy lifestyle journey, right now in January, they're like, oh, dry January. They're trying to like cut it out and whatever. And for the month. Which is great. I mean, I think that's a good detox. I feel like alcohol has no value really, in your body, and just no health benefits really. So for me, it's like, from that standpoint, yes. But also it's like from a mental standpoint, like if we're trying to strive to be mentally healthy, if we are going through things like we don't love our body, like we are maybe more insecure in the season of time, or maybe you don't feel like yourself, for me, the alcohol only enhanced that and only made it very prevalent. And it got to the point where I was not even abusing it or anything. it was just like every time I woke up, I'm like, man, that was not a fun time, and I would have friends and stuff like, that drank pretty regularly and they could really handle their alcohol, but I would like save it up and like wouldn't drink for like a special occasion. And then it would like, we blow it out. And then it's like, well, that's not going to work out for anyone. Just like if you don't have cookies for a year and all of a sudden you have like 30 cookies, you're not going to feel the best, going to go straight into like a sugar coma. And so, so it was really cool to have experienced this. And at first, people thought, I think, that it was about the whole prep for bodybuilding. And they're like, oh, you did this because, you want to do that. Yes, true, because I wanted to really focus and hone in on the diet. And, nobody wants to go do 300 floors of stairs hungover, right? Would not have, it would have taken me off my goals. And that's why I try to tell people, like, that truly, if you're starting out this journey, like, it's only going to keep you further away from your goals. And then especially if you are doing a prep and stuff, like if you have been holding on to some alcohol or whatever, I think that a lot of times what I was using it for was just like a stress reliever, which was no different than, or an escape, which was no different than as a child, the pizza and, or the Coca-Cola. I mean, I literally remember sitting on the couch watching TV and being like, and I'd fill my Mountain Dew cup, like my my drink all the way up, and I would sip on that Mountain Dew. And the very first sip, I would be like, like you would think like I was like doing drugs, like that's how it was. It was seriously an addiction.
It's the same effect, yeah.
Yeah, exactly. And so I literally like felt like it was just like this high I would get, and so again. It's like I'm in this season of time where to truly be healthy, I am not trying to like go from, okay, like, I guess people could do like, go from alcohol to like non-alcoholic stuff, which again is great, and you're slowly weaning off of it or whatever. But I wanted to set the intention that it was like, I remember it was this time last year, one of my best friend's birthdays, and she was in town. I only see her like once a year, and we went out. And I knew that this would be the last time I would drink. And I didn't go crazy, anything like that. But we just had the best time. We played Guitar Hero. We hung out. Like, I mean, it was just cool, right? But I remember, and I didn't cry. I didn't get upset. We just had an awesome time. So for me, it was like having that moment with her and having that memory that held me on through this past year of like, you were good. There was no problems. It wasn't like you just like, there was nothing that was like a negative. It was just like, this is a choice and let's see how it goes. And so doing that, I really feel positive, now looking back. And that year went by so fast. I mean, this past year flew by, even though for a while there it was kind of dragging right before the prep or right before the show and stuff. But it really did. So, for anyone that is struggling with, trying to cut it out or trying to cut out unhealthy habits and things, like I really encourage someone to ask yourself, like first off, why are you doing it? Is it coming from an insecurity standpoint, or you're just like, no, I just love to live my life. I love to drink on occasion. That's cool too, right? But if it's coming from a negative spot, that is where I think then it becomes where it can actually like take over your life. And that's why I didn't want to let it get to that point, and I felt like it was getting to that point. Yeah, so I don't know. So it's been cool with that, but I will say, I have found, I don't know if this is like for you too, but like for me, when I post stuff, so I post stuff all the time, right? And if people are following on Instagram and everything like that, you see that. And when I'm posting, a lot of times it is for myself, but it is for an accountability standpoint, right? So if I say that I'm not going to drink, it's not because I care if y'all know I drink or if I don't drink or whatever, anything like that. It is more of like I'm just telling you because it's going to hold me accountable.
Smart.
And that is how with my journey, that's with my stairs, that is what's kept me consistent in things that like maybe weren't as easy as, the things that come naturally to me, like scheduling things or, whatever like that. Right. So I kind of look at it from that standpoint and staying focused on that. And so I don't know. I think that another thing that I was talking to somebody about the other day is like, I try to set all these like goals like that. And again, I know that if I were to have a drink to celebrate, right? Let's say like, okay, you're sober, and then if I had a drink, I know that it wouldn't spiral me into, okay, now I'm gonna be drinking every day like that. It would be a special occasion,
Right.
and I'd be like, cool, and then I'd get back to my stuff. And so basically, like once you do things for long enough, that is how it becomes. Like I stopped drinking soda. I guess now, like I don't even know, since I was like 19. I mean, yeah, like 10 years ago. I don't know, something around there. So it's been so long that I don't want it anymore, right?
Mm-hmm.
So there's things I think that people get so hung up on of like, oh, I'll never have it again or whatever. It's like sometimes you just don't want it again either, right? So I don't know. I really feel good about it. I feel like it was something for me. And when looking back at my journey, it has been for myself. Right.
Yeah.
And so if anyone is like wanting to strive to do something, like don't, again, you can be accountable, you can tell people, you can have a coach and whatever, but like this is for you. Like this is to better your journey and to better yourself. But yeah, I mean, what do you think, Trent? You think you could do like a couple days, couple
Hey,
months?
yeah.
Like,
Yes, I do here and there, and
yeah.
I'm sitting here listening to you say all that, and I'm like, yep, that probably really helped me. So I feel
What?
mildly attacked, but not too bad. But no, I've yeah. I mean, I don't really think it. I don't know. I don't want to get into
No,
that too much, but
I get it.
yeah, but I'm proud of you. That's
Thank
amazing.
you.
That's a heck of an accomplishment, and
Thanks.
it's noticeable. You seem just like happier and
Thank you.
healthier. So
Well, and that's the other thing too is like, I this is what I've always, in terms of like, I've talked about it before with like relationships, right? Like when let's say I start dating somebody or go on dates with them and they talk about maybe that they like to like smoke or they drink every night or whatever. It's like, that's cool if that's your lifestyle. But my whole thing is like, if the intention is like an escape, then for me, it's like, okay, if you get to escape life, what do I get to do to escape life? You see what I mean? And I don't think people look at it like that. And like, because some people do, again, like I said, I make drinking sound horrible, but like some people do drink just for fun and like that's great too. And I love it. Right. But, when it becomes a habitual thing or like this regimented thing, that is where when I say that like in a partner, like I would want someone that has a healthy lifestyle, that's what I mean.
right,
So that like, again, I don't want to have to like escape from reality. Like I'm trying to face it head on, and that can be heavy stuff. And I
right,
actually just like posted about that, about like things have been really heavy lately, emotionally draining, just negative thing after negative thing. And and again, everyone has a lot of times like they rely on the seasonal depression thing, and and it is a real thing. And stuff gets hard at the top of the year. There's expectations. People like, I have to start this challenge or I have to do this journey or whatever it is. But again, it's the intention behind it, right? Like, are we starting this journey for ourselves or are we doing it because everybody else is? And that is why people are going to fall off in the gym in a month, Like, everyone always asks me, is your busiest season or busiest month January? And I'm like, no. I'm like, it's usually February, March, because it's the people that realize that the detox teas and the nonsense and the this and the that and the pills and whatever, none of that worked. And so they're like, I guess I got to do this the real way. So, you know what I mean? Or like the
yeah,
healthy lifestyle way and be consistent with it. And so, yeah, so that's where I'm like, I'm trying to help people to understand that you don't even have to go through that. Like, just start here, start at a realistic regimen. And again, it is going to take a long time, but it is like with the drinking, like I didn't even imagine like, okay, in my 1 year, I'm going to be sitting here talking about it on the podcast. Like that wasn't something I did. I took it one day at a time, one step at a time, one event at a time. And by doing that, it made it so much more manageable because really, even after my show and stuff, everybody was drinking. Like, here, like, I'll bring you shots, whatever. I was like, nah, I'm gonna be good because I just knew that like I'd rather have an apple cookie or like I'd rather like go have dinner with friends and just enjoy the night and not remember it,
Yeah,
like
sure.
and so like that because my tolerance would be so low, that I would or whatever that I
Yeah.
would end up probably forgetting or something. So I didn't want to do that. And
Yeah, how long did that take? Was that like, I mean, did it was it a progressional thing? I know you kind of said like with the soda thing, it was similar, but like
So what do you
how
mean? Like what? Like for the
did
soda?
it just get like progressively? I mean, I'm sure it was kind of like a progressively easier thing to just not do it.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
no, 100%.
What were like the first couple months like? Was that harder, or were you just locked in? And
So okay, so really, all of my it's so funny. My healthy lifestyle journey and this go hand in hand because both came from other people's like stuff that finally just pushed me to be like I'm over everything that you guys are saying about the situation. I'm going to do it for myself or I'm going to do it on my own.
nice.
Right? So it was like, continually being critiqued about like, oh, well, you're acting this way, or you're saying this, or you're saying that, or whatever, which again, you know, it's so challenging because you don't want things to be used against you and you want to be able to just be yourself, right? And when you've gone through loss or trauma, it's like you almost kind of expect people to be more sympathetic, you know? And then for them not to be, you're like, well, that sucks. And same thing with like being a larger frame or larger body. You would think that people be more sensitive to be like, like, why don't we start you like on a healthy lifestyle regimen versus like you're FAT, you need to lose weight, you look like a whale, da 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 da. You know what I mean? Like, so again, it was kind of like I took all that negativity and I was like, you know what? I'm just going to do this on my terms, on my deals. So to answer your question, the very first month, so it was like mid-January. So as I started, I mean, I kind of looked at it like, okay, there are no occasions coming up to where I would even need to. Like the one would be St. Patrick's Day, okay? And that's when the challenge was ending and like that's when like this month's challenge will end too. And it always seemed like every year when I had tried to do this before or like to try to stay on my journey, I would always like go out with friends and then I would get uncomfortable or insecure and then or bored because everybody was with couples and whatever or something. And then they'd be like, well, here, let's just take a shot. And I was like, yeah, okay. You know what I mean? I gave in,
Yeah, sure.
right? So not putting myself in those positions was number one. And to say that I was confident enough that if I did go do something, that it was with people that I genuinely knew supported me. Like Jordan, who's sober and has been for a few years, knowing that I could go with her somewhere and be cool, no judgment, totally cool, awesome, right? So that was something. But then when you looked at the rest of the year, I was like, really, there's no like big events coming up. And so, and even in California, it was my birthday, but I was like totally health focused. I was at the beach, just like doing my deal and whatever, and with my mentor, and she doesn't drink.
Nice.
So if I would have gone and seen my other mentor in Florida, she does drink, right? So
Turn up a
again,
little bit.
I may have been like, you know what? This is an occasion. It won't matter. Like, just go do it. It's your birthday. All the things attached, especially around like a healthy lifestyle regimen. Like, oh, it's Thursday. Everyone's like having Mexican. Like, go have Mexican with them. See what I'm saying? So when you start like lowering your goals or lowering your commitments based on what others do around you, you will never reach your goal. Or if you let partners or let other people influence you because and really influence is just another word for enabling, right?
Sure.
Because if I sat here and I told you, hey, I kind of really want to work on this and like you're in you're in a relationship or whatever, and that person hears you and really hears you, then they wouldn't just be bringing Ben and Jerry's every night in the house,
Yeah.
or they'd say like, hey, I understand you're going through this. You're just starting out. It's a first like a month or two or whatever. But like eventually, like we need to still be able to have Ben and Jerry's in the house, and it'd be okay. And that is something that you will grow towards because you'll get stronger.
Right.
So yes, you do get to the point where you're like, I don't even want it. Like it's not even something or whatever. And like, for example, my client Christmas party I just had, it would have been awesome to have the Dani D drink because we make a blue drink and we call it the Dani D drink or whatever. And like, it would have been great to have that drink with everyone and celebrate. But I looked at it as, I have made it this far. I have done a great job. And I feel really proud of myself. I really want to make it to a full year at like at that point because I was like right a month before, and I said to myself, okay, so let's set yourself up for success. So I went and bought the tonic waters, right, and I got those and I put it in a champagne glass and put a strawberry on there, and it looked like I was drinking like a pink like little fruity drink.
Smart.
And literally some of my clients who had a little bit too much to drink were like, Danny was drinking. And it's like, their significant others were like, no, she wasn't. Like, you know what I mean? But it was just like funny because, like, again, I think that a lot of times people use the drinking to make it more comfortable, to ease them. And I've really been focused on this past year living in the uncomfortable, doing things that set me like apart and set me back out of my comfort zone. Because when you go through injury, loss, trauma, whatever, it's so easy to just curl up in your hoodie, sit on the couch, and be like, "Nah, I'm good." Like I don't want to. I can't, or I had to make a big excuse, or it doesn't matter, or this or that, or all these different things in your mind. And I was just like, no, I want to continue. I'm doing this bodybuilding show. I'm, stepping out of my comfort zone in that way. I'm making time, like I did go to California. Like I'm making time for my family more. I'm doing all these things to better myself. And so it's okay to live in the uncomfortable, and I think that so many people kind of fear that. And that's where, like, I don't know. I don't want to be, what's the word? I don't want to be like attached to that. And something that my mom had asked me, she had said something like, where do you feel like your inner strength comes from? Right. And when talking about inner strength and talking about like that, to me is like fighting for what you want. And I think my inner strength obviously comes from God and from the gifts that I'm given from Him. But it really is like honing in on my faith and honing in on what my purpose is on this earth. And I've always felt like I am meant to, through like my journey and through the things I've gone through, to share that with people, to help them so that they never have to go through the same situation, and to help them to understand that, like, I get what it feels like to not have a community of people. I get what it feels like to feel so alone on this journey that, like, it doesn't matter. Why bother? Right? Like, you're
Right.
never going to be the standard. You're never going to look like so-and-so. You're never going to do things, all these things that's put on you and put on you and put on you to deter you, like, from your path and to knock you off. And it just takes the light out of people. And I hate that. And I hate seeing that, because I truly believe that anything is possible. So when some of my clients will be like, well, I mean, I can't run a half marathon. I'm like, why can't you? And they're like, well, like, there's just no way. I'm like, no. You could get through a half marathon right now. You are functionally fit enough. You've been working with me for long enough. Like, you could. Now, the recovery might suck, and you might not win. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
again, it's like how we phrase things and how we set it up. If you already have told yourself you're not going to do it, then you're not going to do it. So I think a lot of people go into this year saying, okay, like, I'm only going to drink on the weekends or whatever, or this or that, or like, there's no way I'm going to lose that amount of weight. So, like, might as well, not even try, or like, I don't know. It's just, we say these kind of crazy things to ourselves and it's like, you're literally setting yourself up for failure, and I hate that. And so I really, with looking at the consistency, with looking at everything over this past year of a regimen and routine, I tell my people all the time, like, that's what I have been doing for my online program clients, for my in-person clients, like, and that's what I'm good at, is creating these essentially healthy lifestyle regimens for them. So it's tailored to their life that they're living. So you're incorporating movement, good fuel, positivity into your life already, versus trying to fit into a program that will not go with your lifestyle. Right. So that is where, like, I create those healthy lifestyle regimens. And again, would somebody see more success by following a plan that was just like very cut and dry and whatever? Yeah. And that's why people do like 75 hard, or they do something for like 2 weeks and then they give up on it, because it's not realistic and it's not a true lifestyle change. And so I really do pride myself in being able to work with them on that. So I do have people right now on my Get Your Movement In Challenge who are not drinking, and they are used to drinking every night or every other day or whatever. And and a lot of times when I ask them, they say that it's from boredom that they drink, or for like more excitement, right? So that's why I encourage them to say, okay, get your movement in, do all that. And then, like, for your excitement, like, go try something new. It doesn't have to be movement based, It could be like going going to somewhere that has live music, but it's like so fun and there's so much going on that it's not just sitting at a bar, right? Like there's so much more that you can like interact and do, or like go somewhere where they have things like like video games and things like that, like so that you're entertained and not just like sitting in a place and everyone's drinking around you, and then like because again that does take time and to get used to and stuff. But with anything, like I said, like if you would have told me when I was, I don't know, 14, 15 years old that I would never be drinking soda, I'd be like, you're crazy. Like I literally like
funny.
I live off, I lived off of it. Like, but again, you can break any habit. And so again, so we're talking about alcoholics and stuff like that, it's on a different level. Or actual like, if you have a binge eating disorder or you're anorexic or anything like that. But like just saying like things that are habits that you do because again, like you just are looking for maybe an escape or you're just wanting something. And it's kind of like, oh my God, I said this on a podcast a long time ago and I'm sure you remember it, and I use this all the time because it's so true. I was laying in bed up in my parents' house and I was laying upstairs and I remember being like, I'm so hungry. I was watching a movie and I'm like, I'm so hungry. Like I hate this plan and my coach doesn't understand. And then my stomach is like caving in and I was so dramatic. And I literally was like, okay, all right, Danielle, if you are that hungry downstairs, but I knew there was brownies downstairs. And I remember being like, okay, if you're that hungry, go eat. And this is when I hated vegetables. And I'm not really a big fan of them now. But I was like, then go eat a thing of broccoli. Not the brownies that are down there. Go eat a thing of broccoli because you're so hungry. What do you think I did? I rolled over on my side. I was like, nah, I ain't that hungry. But you see what I'm saying?
Go drink some water. Yeah.
But seriously, and I know it sounds lame and people can be like, oh, that's not intuitive eating or whatever. No, that was me. Seriously, my body was not saying that I was hungry. My mom was telling me that because I'm watching pizza commercials after pizza commercials, or like sweets and whatever on the TV.
100%.
So I think that too, society has pinned drinking in every occasion. You look at every rom-com, the guy and the girl go on a date to go drink. You look at, the music video and they're all drinking beer in the crowd. I mean, it's everywhere, right? And just like food is always associated with everything. And it's just the easiest thing. It's just an easier thing. So I like to put myself on a path of, actually looking at what's hard. What are things that I, can't accomplish, and how can we step out of our comfort zone in that? So like, have you tried going on a first date with without drinking? Like that is an achievement, like on some of these,
Sucks, yeah.
So it's like, well, you don't know because you got a great girl, but you know what I'm saying? Like back in the day.
Yeah.
Like,
a lot of time.
Yeah.
That, yeah.
So, I mean, so it does make
It's
it
like that. Yeah,
easier.
you're right. You're absolutely right.
So it's just kind of like, what kind of life do you want to live is what I ask people all the time is like, if the easier way, like that is better for you and whatever, and that's your season of time right now, then like go for it. But if you're looking for that, like, accountability, that consistency, that challenge to put yourself on a whole nother level, like you can accomplish that.
Yep.
It is just identifying like what do you want and taking it small steps. Like I didn't sit there and say a year ago, like, okay, I'm gonna stop dating and I'm gonna stop drinking and I'm gonna stop this, I'm gonna stop that. I didn't do that. Okay. I literally started in July of what was it, 2021 or whatever, being like, okay, I'm going to start working towards eating better and feeling my best. And then fast forward to January of 2022, and I was like, okay, now I'm going to, stop drinking. Okay. And then it was April of 2022 where I was like, you know what? This is a reality check. We got the show coming up in August. I'm going to stop having pizza every Saturday. Okay. So again, guys, it's not all at once, all full-fledged, throw everything out of the house like crazy, whatever. It is literally, it for me, I took it step by step by step and slowly started trickling away at that. And when I really like got it together in my mind, with the whole mindset of doing the show, not having the pizza every Saturday, or the cheat, whatever meal, and like really staying on my meal plan. It was literally one meal that was like the difference in my weight loss from like,
that's crazy.
Isn't that, I know. And that's what I'm saying. People don't think, they're like, oh, well, I only didn't eat well for 2 days. I'm like, that's 2 days. Okay. When you're really fine tuning it, especially in the beginning, like and again, it's not to feel overwhelmed that everyone's body is different. But I mean, I was getting so fine tuned with it that meal was slowing me down. So, like, the progress that I had from July of that year to April of that year was less progress than I had from April to August. Okay.
Wow.
Because I was fine tuning it and was really on my stuff. So again, that's why I tell people, I'm like, if you want to train with me, yeah. And they're like, oh, well, I drink. And it's like, okay, cool. But like, just so you know, like that is going to take you longer to get to where you want to be and to feel like your best. So as long as you acknowledge that, then that's cool. I'll take you where you're at. Like, I don't have to have, I've had people be like, oh, well, I have to lose a bunch of weight to be able to work with you. No, like I take people where they're at, whatever their struggles are, whatever the part of their journey is, because I know what it's like. And so even from there, from doing the show and stuff, coming out of the show, still being mindful, still staying on that regimen and that routine, because I honestly, I don't like to worry about where my next meal is going to come from. When I got it planned already and I've already done my meal prep and I can just grab it and go, that is how I'm able to be more time sufficient. That is how I'm able to be more just efficient overall, because it is that whole meal prep, and then I feel successful throughout my day, and fueling my body throughout my day. So that, again, as women and as men, we know that days get away from us, and then you're like, oh man, it's been 9 hours, I haven't had anything. That's not doing anything good for your metabolic rate. That's not doing anything good for your just your mind in general. Like, again, it is something that is crucial, especially if you're adding movement into the swing of things. Like, you got to have that fuel as well. And literally 9 times out of 10, like I literally could count probably on my hand of the times that I said, oh, someone's eating too much. You know what I mean? Like, my women and stuff, like, they're eating way less. Like, they're not having enough. And even my men. And it's like, no, y'all need to eat more. But, like, again, it's of the right things, and of the things that, like, are going to fuel your body. Not just having one large meal each day. Or two or whatever. So anyway, so all that to say, I'm super thankful for the journey. I think that I think I would have done the whole, being sober without doing the shows with bodybuilding, but this is just another way that, like, that helped me stay accountable, and knowing that coming off of the show, like, really had to be critical with, like, what I ate and time of day and all that stuff in my movement. So it has kept me through the holidays on par, just with everything. So that's been great. So I don't know, would it be cool to manifest that I'll go to France for my 30th birthday and, like, go after my shows are done and stuff, and be walking down the cobblestone with a French baguette, maybe the Eiffel Tower's in the background. I'm doing the
Maybe. I don't know.
I'm painting
Maybe.
the whole thing, painting the whole picture. I don't even like wine, but maybe carrying a bottle of wine.
Yeah.
Like, you know what I mean? Like, I don't know. Maybe I'll have a drink there, right?
Yeah.
but again,
That's celebrating something
Ex-
massive.
exactly.
Yeah.
And so again, not like it's the excuse of, like, oh, I have to accomplish these shows to be able to drink or whatever. It's like, but no, just setting the intention of, like, that would be a true first vacation for me in years. And I'm part French. So that's also nostalgic. Maybe go see where my grandmother grew up. I don't know. That's something I'm really trying to manifest that I want to do for myself. And I'm trying to find balance. And so I'm putting it out there because, again, I have found with accountability, and I think that most will find this, and if you do this, it will help you with your lifestyle journey, or if you're trying to kick bad habits or whatever. Put it out there, say it, write it in a journal, manifest it, whatever it might be. Like, I have a whole thing of things that I try to manifest, and, like, dreams that I want to accomplish that I write down, and that changes from year to year. But when you can have that and see it and visualize it and, like, live it and breathe it, I mean, it does hold a whole nother level of things versus just being, like, to your, partner, or, to being to yourself and just kind of like, yeah, I think I'll do that or whatever. It's like, you're never going to get it done. You're never going to get accomplished. So I'm putting it out there. I'm going to France at some point, like, this year.
Nice.
So knock on wood that nothing crazy happens, but that is something that I want to do for myself. And, if, like I said, if I choose to have 100 baguettes while I'm there, it's a pasta, like, exactly. Because again, that's what a healthy lifestyle is about. It's about enjoying life, and having that balance and finding that, and figuring what works out for you. And so that's why I hope that this podcast can do that for people, that can help to inspire them to, if they've been sitting on something, they're like, oh man, I really want to do that. Like, know that you can do it. Like, you can, go a whole year without drinking. Like you can do a whole year of movement or commit yourself to a program or whatever it is, whatever's stopping you or you're fearful of or holding you back. And maybe you're just worried that it's going to be hard and it's going to be uncomfortable. I get that, but lean into somebody, like have that coach, have that trainer, have that mindset coach even, or whatever, your partner, whoever, like have that person that will hold you accountable. Like, and I mean, again, there's strength in numbers. So I do appreciate all the help I've had from my trainer, my coach, people who have also now told me that they're going to do a bodybuilding show because of the seeing my journey and stuff. And that's kept me like on a good
It's got to be
path.
super inspiring.
Yeah,
It'll
yeah,
fire
it's
you up for
it's
sure.
it's really cool, and it's great because again, these people like a lot of them aren't from around here and stuff, and then I got people from different states in this challenge right now. I mean, and they're crushing it, and everyone is battling with something every day, and it's like I just want them to know that like you're not alone in this, and there are other people struggling, maybe not in the exact way you are or whatever, but like you know we can find ways through it. It's just it may take a team, So I just want to say I'm super thankful for everybody who has been a part of this and has supported my mission and supported me in this endeavor
Yeah.
this past year, especially and all throughout all 100 episodes.
Yeah.
So I really am thankful and excited for the next one. And for next week's, you're going to see a special guest on there on the podcast, and so that'll be great. So make sure to tune in for that. And if you haven't yet, subscribe, like, review, all the things, please. And until next time.